watching this later, welcome. This is week 26 of the Framework for Faculty and Student Success course. Let me just turn on the transcript and the captions so that we got all the things going. All right, so the Simon Says this week doesn't really make any sense. I think ChatGPT ran out of creativity at around week 24. Cut wooden boards inside to refine your lesson. I don't know, maybe the analogy of cutting and refining your lessons, I guess. In week 26, we're focusing on ensuring consistent due dates. That's actually something that is we talk about in the newsletter that should be coming out later today. And clarifying scoring criteria for all graded assignments. Here's the analogy. Think of it as cutting wooden boards inside to refine your lessons. When each piece is measured and shaped precisely, the entire structure comes together smoothly. Oh, like that. I can be convinced. By keeping due dates uniform wherever students encounter them, you eliminate confusion and reduce stress. That is true. Providing rubrics or other clear scoring guides further refines the design, so learners always know exactly how their work will be evaluated. Okay, so we're going to get started on rubrics now. This week, our objective: implement and maintain a cohesive schedule for all assignments while offering well-defined rubrics or scoring tools that make the path to success unmistakably clear. Clarity, transparency, helpful for the students that are going through. This is wrong. This is 25. We're in 26, framing clear assessment expectations. We're doing some critical thinking here. And our skill standard, speaking of that, is B4 for our course. The topic is clear assessment expectations. And I need to get my special code ready for you all. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in. Go here to the next. All right, so indicator 3.2C. Graded assessments include clear and consistently stated due dates. I'm going to put this into the chat for you all so you can direct link if you're not there already. And I'm going to let you all read this one. And then after maybe 2 minutes, we'll come back in and we can talk about it. Okay, so due dates, sometimes an oversight for some faculty members. For the people who are in here, do you all utilize the Canvas feature of setting up due dates?
Absolutely.
Yep, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when I import, my course from, to from a previous quarter, that's one of the first things I do is go in and update the due dates. I don't use I've never tried like there's a check box that you can say update the due dates. I've never
Mhm.
tried that, I don't think. Um, because yeah, I don't know. It's just easier for me to look at the academic calendar and do it manually, I think.
Mhm.
And that also allows me to make sure that I'm not like making something due like
During a holiday.
during a holiday or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it scramble mine so bad that I had to like remove all due dates and do it manually like you do, Derek.
Mm.
Checking that
So
box.
you're
Holy
kind of
cow.
doing you have like extra work. Trying
Yeah.
to save some work, but it's giving you extra work.
Yeah, it doesn't do it all the time, but I do notice like if throughout the quarter I change a due date, like I'll extend something, that
Hmm.
throws everything else off. So then the next quarter when I bring it over, if I don't remember I did that, if from that point on will be messed up. So
Mm.
everything before that will be fine, but from the point let's say right before the midterm, I gave him some extra time to do something. So I changed the due date.
Mm.
Everything after that in the next quarter will be scrambled. Everything will be off.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I
So,
have found, you know how you can go in and you can highlight, like I could go in and highlight all my labs
mhm.
and I can say start on this date and end on this date, and then they're due on Sunday. And it'll do that. It'll actually go through and set that for me, or it's due on Friday. It'll go through and do that for me. But on occasion, trust me, my students will tell me right away if I made a mistake. So
Mhm.
I ask them to let me know if there's a mistake with the due date. Don't panic. Send
Yeah.
me an email and I'll take care of it. And I've done that and I've had to do that in the past. Yeah.
Do you when you're talking about doing the multiple check, you're saying you check them and do the assignments or set the due dates all at one time. Where do you do that at?
You can either do it when you import like a previous class like Derek was talking about,
Uh-huh.
or once you submit a course, or
Mhm.
let's say let me think how to put this. Once I pick a course, right?
Mhm.
And then I go into the assignments. So I'm trying to open one of my classes right now to look at it. So I can go into assignments, look at the due dates in that module, like test out chapter sections. In the upper right, there's an edit option. You can click that and it'll give you the ability to change the score. But if you go all the way up to the top, like way up in the top right, it'll take me to that. Yeah, exactly. Then I can set the due dates at the very top, select by date range, to and from, and then have it apply those uh, throughout. The only issue I run into, truthfully, is that it doesn't always, like I have my students turn their work in on Sunday, not
Mhm.
on Friday. So let's say today was my Linux 2 and Linux 1 class.
Uh-huh.
Their work isn't due till Sunday.
Oh.
But in the course, it says the course is set up on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday course, right? And so sometimes I run into that where it gives me an issue. Or you know what else it does? Available until, if you set that, let's say you set available until the end of the quarter,
Yeah.
but you set the available from, like if you flip those or if you make it too soon, it'll start throwing errors up because it says you're available from date, right? Or your due date is after the available until date. Does that
Yeah.
make, do you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Okay. I
Yeah,
know it's
so you got to make
confusing.
sure, like, I mean, depends on when you want to open them up, but like, let's say you open them from the beginning of the quarter
Hmm.
until the end of the quarter, and then you just
Yep.
go in and make the specific
Correct.
due dates.
Yep.
You know,
And I even set times. So like it's due 11:59 on Sunday.
uh-huh.
And if, and, uh, if I make a mistake on that, then everything gets thrown off. You know what I mean? Like the time, sometimes I just take the time out, but I have to put it in there because if I don't, it causes issues. I have students who, if they don't have those dates, they panic. And then I
Yeah,
have
it's
other
kind of
students.
it's interesting to well, I guess not interesting, but I mean the students interact with Canvas in all different ways. Sometimes a
Mhm.
student will come in and they'll go straight to the assignments, and then like they just live on the assignments page and they're just filling out stuff. Some students will go into the calendar and be like, okay, I don't see anything
Yeah.
on the calendar, so that must mean nothing's due.
Hmm.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about that stuff.
I usually point them to assignments. And also I use modules. Modules and assignments are pretty much the same. I stopped, I was doing that for the longest time and I stopped doing it. And then I had students saying, well, I like modules better. And then others would say, I like assignments better. So I left them
Mm,
both. You
okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pick the one you
And
want,
there's ways that yeah, you can do that where I mean, as long as you're setting it up where it's got, you know,
the
people who
same.
are just in the assignments, people who are just in the things. So that's one of my weak things. I don't usually set up the due dates
Yeah.
for this course because I split this with another teacher. And so if students we haven't set it up yet, right, where only their students see the assignments and then only my students see the assignments. We got kind of like mixed up because sometimes the students go back and forth. And so
Hmm.
uh yeah, we don't have that set up. But I think it is important if you are going to put in the dates, one way would be this way that we just talked about, how you can
Hmm.
import, if you're importing from a previous course, like a previous quarter, then you can adjust the dates. Um, it's not perfect and it's based on what you guys are saying, there might be some more work afterwards. I like this method that you talked about, Kelly, where you've got, what was it was in the assignments and then you go into
Up there. Yeah.
edit
That's what I
assignment
was
date.
looking for. That's what I
That's pretty
was.
nice because
Yeah.
you got everything there at once. Is that what you were going to talk about, Don? So I just saw your hand.
No, it's just that I found it easier and quicker to clear the dates out completely and then start from scratch because it's almost always you got to shift them 1 or 2 days
Hmm.
once you
Ex
go to
yep.
get it right. So instead of trying to figure out where you're at when you're doing it, set one date like they're all due on the same day or available until you could copy and paste.
Hmm.
Copy and paste works great inside there once you have a standard date.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Once you got the
You put
way
a
that,
date, yep, and then copy that entire string,
so let's say
and then you can start pasting it.
say end of the quarter is 19th, right? So we're just gonna double click that and then pop. Oh, did you do it?
Just
Okay.
run down with Control V and
Yeah.
fill them
And
out
then
really quick.
it looks like start from the bottom and go up.
It changes itself as it goes down the line, but yeah, either way, yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm wondering how can oh, the tab won't work unless it's, I always look for simple ways to do things. Sometimes I'll have to go into a course and like
Before you
I've had to
change out
do
of
it
that
with,
screen,
huh?
I sorry I was late. I was with a student, but that select by date range, I've never underneath edit assignment dates, if there's dates in there, I've never
Huh?
got that to work.
Up at the top.
Up at
It's
the
like
top
by,
left area.
yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
one. You said
Yeah.
you got this working, Kelly.
Yeah, I use it, but there are times I have to go back and edit them, like Don is saying. We have a lot of students who work, so we'll tell them like this is what I ran into. Everything's due at the end of the quarter within reason. And my syllabus states if you are like 2 weeks behind, I'm going to be on you to find out what's going on with the assignment.
Mhm.
But I don't deduct points for it. Then I had other students go, well, wait, I need a due date. Like I do better with the due date. So then I
Yeah.
set up the due dates. But I explained to them, if you want to be done comfortably by the end of the quarter, follow the due dates, get it done by these dates.
Mhm.
If you're getting behind, I'm going to notify you. I'm going to get a hold of you and I'm going to find out what's going on, but I'm not going to deduct points for it. You know, I
That's
want you
great
to get the work
because
done.
that's awesome, Kelly. And sorry to cut you off. You're saying you want them to learn
Oh, yeah.
sorry, I cut you off, but
No, it's just, the goal is to get them to learn the material and be employable,
right.
not to make their lives miserable. And, you know, that works for some students, but it doesn't work for everybody. I have other students who are like, no, dude, I need that due date. Okay, I'll give you the due date.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to work better on a due date system because then
And you
if
can
not, I'll just
procrastinate it to the very
yeah,
end.
well, procrastinate. Procrastinate is a pretty strong word. I'll find other priorities to focus on if
Funding.
something can be pushed down the line. Um, one of the so I'm actually when we create the professional development, I'm always kind of should I add in the due dates? We got this weekly thing where we're meeting every week and kind of going through it. Some people love that. I uh, I'm gonna assume that y'all like that because y'all are able to come here and participate. But some people are get really stressed out. They're like behind. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's just now starting faculty, the framework course, then it's gonna seem like so much. But I feel like if I don't have the due dates, then it doesn't stress people out.
You know what it does though? Like for this happens in our first quarter, brand new students. They come into class and they're not funded. Their funding isn't going to
Um,
be there for 3 to 5 weeks, right?
right.
And we're setting due dates on their assignments. Like Kat Morris teaches those classes. The students would panic. And then we
Mm.
started losing them. They were dropping left and right, even though
Mm.
they could get caught up. Like that's all introduction material. They see those due dates, they freak out. So she started pulling the due dates and doing similar to what like I do or what Don does. Um, and that calmed that down some. Not all of it, don't get me wrong, but um it helps. It helps relieve the stress, especially like I said, with the funding
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
issues.
I mean, it could go both ways. But yeah, I like the idea of having kind of just having it open the whole time, having the due dates, but then telling your students in person and then maybe outlining it somewhere in the syllabus saying that if there is some reason that you are not able to do this in time, um, just reach out to me and let me know because life happens and students, we don't know what our students got going on in the background. I have just to go into that point a little bit more. If y'all have ever listened to our podcast, there's a one that I did recently with a woman named Jill Donnelly. She works up in Renton. And she talks about classroom management and talks about that specific thing of like being flexible with the due dates. Obviously, you want your students to try, it's kind of like a professional responsibility for them to come on time, do their assignments on time. Um, and sometimes they just have to because if they get too far behind, then like it'll be impossible for them to catch up. Like I'm thinking about if I was taking Tracy's class, like, I got she has everything set up where it's like, you gotta get this stuff done in a timely manner. Otherwise, it's gonna be just a mountain of work to do.
I,
But
I, 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 I wrestle with that stuff every single quarter because I understand we have to be flexible,
mhm,
but students need to be held accountable as well. I'll give you an example. We got a student waiting for financial aid. I think she's free now, but the first 2 weeks of the quarter, they get full complete access for no cost to the material.
mhm,
And this particular individual for this quarter has still not done a single thing. regardless of how many times I reached out to them.
Mm,
So I usually will give them the calendar, a checklist with all the assignments and their dates,
nice.
so they can check it off. And then what you mentioned as well, it says Kelly said it as well. Um, Life does happen. Things happen. I'm sorry, I couldn't get my work done. I was in the hospital. I just had minor surgery type deal. Okay, I can make accommodations for that type of stuff. We can work with that. The other thing is we're training these folks to get out into the industry, into a job, and we want them to be able to perform, and they're going to have deadlines, and those deadlines are going to have to be met. So they got to understand that part too. So we got to play the flexibility and I don't know, the hard ball a little bit every now and then. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you 100%. It's a balance, a balancing act. I mean, I would say for the most part, most of the students are in your classes and they're doing the work when they need to get
yes,
done.
absolutely.
It's only not it's not rare. Like I would say, like from my experience, at least one person in every class is kind of a laggard, like a little bit uh falling behind on things. And I think what you all are doing is the perfect like antidote to that, like reaching out to the student, making sure everything's okay. Like as long as y'all do that, I feel like that's the at least the minimum is to check in on them and see if they need anything. And then if they can't do it beyond that, like at least you did your best,
And
right?
we've done what we can. We can't,
Done what you
we're not
can.
going to drive to their house, knock on the door, and say, "Come on, we're going to go to school now,"
Do this
type deal.
assignment. Wake up. Uh, we'll be in trouble. Okay, so the assignment for this one, pretty easy here, going through and checking to make sure that your assignments have the due dates. It sounds like y'all are on top of that. If y'all didn't know about that one hack of, so I think we all agreed that kind of this one might be more trouble than it's worth to shift the dates. Like I remember I've done it a couple times too, where it's like, I don't know if that's right. Um, but I do like this one, and I do like the idea of copy and pasting where you can. Like I feel like, unless there's some reason where they don't need it at a certain time. I mean, you can go through, and it looks like they're all in alphabetical order. So if your assignments are set up in an alphabetical type way, if you have like module 1.1, 1.2, like all that kind of stuff. Then you could just go through, and if you want it only to be available from week 3, then you could do copy and paste whatever the day, week 3 is, and then just go. Like once again, I think from the bottom would be better. If I go from the top, what happens? Oh, no, top's not bad either. So, Kelly, go ahead.
Um, I wanted to ask every once in a while, and I don't know if it's just me or the way it's laid out. At the beginning of the quarter, I get into a habit of going into the settings of the course.
Mm-hmm.
I go into the course details section. So yeah, right there. And where it says participation term and it says course, like at the bottom down there on yours, it says winter 2025 course.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes either that'll be set to term or the dates are wrong, right? So if you scroll down a little bit, it'll say the start date and the end
Oh,
date.
here.
Yeah, exactly. And if sometimes if I don't put an end date in, then when I go to put my assignments in, it'll keep kicking up an error telling me I don't have an end date to the course.
Oh.
Or the end date's too like I I don't know what happened, but mine said March 13th this year or this
Mm.
quarter, and it's actually the 19th. So
Yeah.
when I was trying to extend it out to the last day of the quarter, it kept giving me an error saying you're beyond the end of the quarter. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I figured it out there. Yeah, it was right there. And
That just happened to me this morning when I was in the 130 class for next quarter.
what? Oh, yeah. So you were okay. I'm not the
End
only
date
one
cannot be
seeing it.
past the beginning date.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Kelly was talking about that before you came in, setting up the end date. Okay. So you would set this up and then you would put that same date into the assignments?
Yes. And if you
Mm.
didn't do this first, then when you did the assignments, you'd get an error message like Don said.
And we also have to set those dates to make sure they're right for the test out material we use, the ones that are using test out, because the 2 week free code goes off the start of the course date.
Right.
Oh. Mm.
And for a while it was set to term too. I remember that and I didn't
You mean this part?
down one participation it says term or it says course. Yeah,
Oh,
see it was set to term and then that was messing stuff up even worse. See how it grays out.
courses.
So what I would do is I would go in immediately and set that to course. Before I imported anything, I'd set that to course, set my start date, end date, save it, and then import from the last
Oh, that's not
class.
bad. Yeah, nice, Kelly. Good. I like this. I feel like anybody watching this that doesn't know about this kind of stuff is going to be learning a lot. Um, Actually, since we're in here and we're talking about dates and all that kind of stuff, do you all have your courses for next quarter in there? Have they started populating in your dashboard?
Yes.
Can I ask you all real quick because just to stay on topic, it does say something about syllabus in here and making sure that uh, the
I
dates
don't
are correct and similar, like the same. The dates are the same on your syllabus and on your in your course. So I'm curious. I know we had a lot of trouble with simple syllabus getting it going for the winter quarter. Have y'all had a chance to go into simple syllabus at all?
I
I
have, and
yeah.
I have a question on some of this because I noticed something new
Okay.
on the left hand down at the bottom when you bring up the simple syllabus page.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Um,
Show it. Can you share it or
yeah, let me move this screen.
while he's doing that, and I have the stop share going here.
Go. Oh. Well, I can't be doing two things at one time. Got to see this coming up here.
Oh, you're okay. You're gonna stop what you're doing. Hold on. Let me just turn my background off. This is not working. Okay. We haven't gotten to this yet, but this is the word.
Lowercase.
All lowercase.
All right. Let's see.
And I'll put it in the chat for y'all too.
Is it okay to share?
Yes, sir.
So there's my spring 130 course.
Mhm. Do you also teach this course in the winter?
Every quarter.
Okay, cool.
We offer all of our classes every quarter.
Awesome.
So down here, I don't
Oh,
remember ever seeing that before. And then when I click on my syllabi,
yeah.
it says I have all these things to do.
Eee.
Have you noticed that, Kelly?
So, okay. No.
No,
The ones on the left, yeah, the ones on the left side, I think these are, oh yeah, these are all for spring. So these haven't been, um, like, have you gone into each of these courses and clicked on simple syllabus?
No, I've just
Okay.
started with, actually, I don't remember if I have the other ones or not.
So that's, so actually click on that one, Introduction to Networking, click Edit. It should, if this is a class that you took that you taught last time, it should automatically import, but it looks like it didn't. Hold on, let me see.
is
Well,
that for next quarter?
what happened was, let me close this,
What the heck?
cancel that.
Oh,
Wait a
yeah, just
minute.
close and then
Close.
confirm.
Back to simple syllabus. when I first launched the class, when the shelves became available, as soon as I clicked on the simple syllabus, it said import. Do you want to import? And it imported
Yeah.
everything from winter quarter to spring quarter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then all I had to do was go in and modify my dates and times and stuff.
Bingo. So that's what I really wanted to talk about is
Okay.
that it should import them. It does look like they added in those things. I think that's just a UI modification that they added the my syllabi and the syllabus library. I like
The
that.
other
That's
thing is what's
go ahead.
I'm still sharing
Yep.
the syllabus library.
That's going to
We
take
can
you to all
see
the syllabi.
everybody's syllabi,
Yeah.
which for if we got to post them makes it easy for the dean's office to grab all the syllabi in one central place. So,
Exactly.
and
Yeah. Well, it looks like already
what's
some
the
people
term we
have
learned, Kelly, at that first teaching thing we had to go to?
Oh, I used
Case
that yesterday. Case it,
cop
copy and
copy and
steal
steal.
everything. Yep. Copy and steal everything. Case it. God, Don, that was like 20 years ago.
Dude, I know this is part of the site, but I actually found the picture and the letter that the guy gave us from the thing. Remember, I was supposed to win that fabulous prize
Yeah, I do.
that
I
I never
do.
got.
Right. I remember.
Man, that was
Yep.
like a lifetime ago.
That was a fabulous prize of knowledge. Don't believe everything you hear.
Sorry, Ron.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I like the banter. Okay, so but to bring it back, let me come back in here. So good. I'm glad the simple syllabi are working. As Don said, I would just go into your courses and then click on the simple syllabus. If it's the same course from winter, or if you did it in fall, it wasn't required in fall, but if you did do it, it will copy it over. It should automatically copy it over, and then you just go in and fix the dates, which is what the focus of 3.2C is. All right, let's move on to 3.2D now, though. This one's talking about rubrics. Graded assessments include a rubric or other scoring criteria that is shared with students prior to submission. So I'm going to pause this, or I'm going to pause me talking, and then I'm going to let y'all read this one, and then we can talk about rubrics. Okay, so that's rubrics. I liked a couple things that jumped out to me. A great place to start here is with the highest stakes assessments that have the greatest impact on the student's grade. So I think you all use rubrics, right? Is that a correct assumption?
Yeah.
Yeah. How often? Like every assignment or most or just big ones?
The high stake ones. The end of module assessments or labs. So one of the courses I teach, it's all hands on. There is a little bit of writing, but it's mainly do this, do this, do this. What was the outcome? Document it, right?
Mhm.
And they're learning those skills throughout the module. Then at the end of the module, they have to replicate it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the rubric comes in. And I did an evaluation on mine, and I actually found I did this yesterday. I actually found that in one of the reports that they submit. So I teach like the defensive side of the like ethical hacking.
Mhm.
How do you defend against all this stuff, right? There's technical analysis and professional documentation, right? And those were put together in the rubric. And I realized after I looked at it that it was hard for them to decipher what the scores were for each.
Mhm.
Even though I had them written together, they shouldn't have been together. They should have been separate. So I actually changed it because they haven't gotten there yet. We're coming to the end of the quarter. Well, they're gonna finish it. So yeah, I ended up reformatting it and trying to make it uh, more clear for the
Mhm.
students so they knew what's expected and they can focus on, both technical execution and professional reporting or the reporting required, ensuring they develop what they need, to getting the output, what to focus on. So we'll see. I think it's gonna help.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's a good point when you're making your rubrics is uh well, rubrics. I love a rubric. I love a great rubric. Um because I think it saves me time. It allows the students to get more insight into what success looks like. That's what it says here. Um but yeah, they can be tricky. Um they can
yeah.
take a long time to create, prior to ChatGPT. Um,
Well,
uh,
being able to break down like what you expect of them and then clarifying, you know, uh what the weight is on it,
yeah, how
like
much?
I look,
Mm,
yeah, I look more on the technical side, right? And not as much on the written side because of where they're at in the program.
mhm.
But the written side is still important. I just don't put as much weight on it.
Yeah.
But if I didn't separate that, they would never have known that. They would have,
Mm.
hey, we're focusing on the technical side here.
So you
Does that
you
make
have your
sense?
rubric set up. Like, do you have an example of what it looks like, or no?
Well, it's built into the grading criteria. It's like built into test out, like I told you. The
Oh,
curriculum as they go through it, it puts it, gives them a score. What I did was I came up with the the score evaluation and broke like technical analysis away from the documentation and then weighted technical analysis higher, like
mm.
40% as opposed to professional documentation at 20%.
Yeah. You can. For those that don't know, you can change the weights in the rubrics. I'm trying to see if I have a course that, I think in this course actually I have rubrics at the beginning. So let me see if I go into this one, edit. Actually, no, it's not an edit. Down here. Hold on, let me get an example of one that has the actual rubric on it. Yeah, another annoying thing is putting it
There.
in. I
Yeah.
really think that Canvas needs to develop some sort of like upload a CSV, or like uh somehow make it so that it's just very easy to import. There needs to be an import functionality, because inputting it every time, I'm sure you all know, is just takes so much time. Even if it is just copy and pasting.
And mine is actually, like a lot of the curriculum we use is already pre-built, but
Mhm.
we can adjust the weights on it. So we have to go in and do that. And that can be a pain. Or having to manually enter it is also a pain, you know?
Right. Oh, I can't edit this one because it's being used a bunch, but yeah. So you're talking about changing the weights like here, like how many points it's worth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
like
that's
if I had one outcome, let's say I had an outcome that included two different items, which is what I had. And then I realized because students had said this to me before, well, okay, we can do a technical analysis and write it up, but which one's more important, the technical analysis or the writing portion?
mm,
Are you grading us on how well we write this report, or are you just you care more about the technical side, like what we got? What was
yeah,
the outcome? Well, I care more on the technical side for that class.
yeah.
So I went in and split them and then put one, the technicals double the
So you
value
had so you
of
had two criteria and then one was
yes.
technical. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And I found that yesterday. So
Mm.
I was kind of surprised. Well,
Good thing you
I
got in.
was surprised.
Is that what you submitted for the
Yep.
assignment?
That's exactly what I submitted.
I guess I could just look at it, but I don't want to bring up your assignment on that in
It's
front of
all
you.
right. Yeah,
You
it's
don't
just what I
mind.
just explained. It's what I just explained. You know, it's
Yeah.
exactly what I just explained. It when you find out you have two items listed and you're grading them under one heading,
Hmm.
and then students are going, wait a minute, why is that
I did this really well. How come my
correct?
score is not that good?
Right.
Because they're
Right.
bumped
I
up.
wrote it really well, but you didn't get to the outcome. Your outcome sucked. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's important when putting a rubric together. And I think we're going to be covering rubrics some more. So this is just kind of like a primer on them. But um, yeah, you got to figure out what's the most important thing. And then that's where, setting up those objectives, the outcomes, all that kind of stuff that we did that we've, been working on. Um, if those are all very clear, then you just get the rubric from that, right? And
Right.
so I think for those who haven't tried ChatGPT, um, that's a good tool that is helpful for putting rubrics together because, as I said earlier, it is a quite a time consuming process. Um, in any Canvas course that you go into, you might have to enable it, but I talked about this, I think, either last week or 2 weeks ago. If you have the Conmigo teacher tools, there is something that is rubric generator. So if you click on the rubric generator, you just select the grade, college. You could probably just copy and paste your assignment in. Actually, let me try this. So I can show you how easy it is. So let me go to one of my assignments here. So let's see, actually, the instructions are here. So I'm going to try this. I don't know how good this is going to work because this is very long. This is like a step by step on how to do something, but I'm all for experimentation. Let's see if this gets in here. Okay. Seems as though it added it in there. Okay.
How do you
Rubric
get the
criteria.
formatting on that? Because the formatting for me it never formats it right, you know?
The rubric.
Well, yeah, when I've used Chat GPT and I tried to set it up, um, so it would put it in a graph or put it in like the document you had
Yeah. If
up.
you do it in ChatGPT, you have to ask for the specific format. I'm thinking that
I see.
this is not. Hold on. I'm gonna do. Just give me a second here. I want to see what this looks like on on the on the call for everyone. If anybody ever wants to try it out. So if I click on this, that, These are just the objectives that we're supposed to be doing in this assignment. I want to see what this looks like. I'm just going to do 4 performance level. Oh, okay. So this would mean we choose. This is kind of what we were talking about in the CWLO meetings. Do we want to have meets expectancy or doesn't meet expectancy? Here's emerging, progressing, and excelling. I like that. Let's just see what this is. Let's see what this does. Rubric generator. Uh-oh, it's too long. I kind of thought that was gonna happen, but maybe a, not a every step along the way assignment, maybe like a traditional assignment that you might have.
Maybe
Then you
just the
can,
description of it and the outcomes. It might be able to pull it from that.
yeah. Do y'all have any assignments up that you can either send me the link to and I can copy them in or copy them into the chat? I just want to see what it comes up with the rubrics here to see if it's any good. I guess I can do this. I'll just do our assignment here. So let's see.
As muted. You could try the 130 class if you wanted to. If you you should have access to it, I would think.
I should have access, you're right.
It is, course number is 3629.
3629. Okay. Servers.
Yep.
All right, let's just check
Then
one.
under modules, okay. I hardly ever, I go right. Scroll down a little bit more, a little bit more. Create a virtual machine or switch, either one.
Okay. Okay. I saw virtual machine. Okay. Okay. It looks like you already got your.
That's what I have right now.
Okay. Screenshots are clear and target the correct area. Host machine name are included in the screenshot. So even like this one, I'm seeing 3 things: a clear screenshot, a correct area, and the names. So this one could even be locked up. It's fine right now. Don't change anything. Run your class normally.
No,
That's what
I
I've been.
wasn't.
That's what I ran into though. That's the same thing, Don, because of the way test out breaks that stuff
So
out.
do me a favor. Go ahead and open up the document.
Okay.
Oh, I got some accessibility stuff to play with too.
Don't we
Because
all?
inside my document, it also tells them how many points they get for each specific screenshot.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's just not reflected in the rubric.
Glad to see mine's not telling. Sometimes my Canvas does that, takes forever. If you close it and then open it again, it usually opens up really quick. Or I download it. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on.
It might be my computer.
They borrowed that circling screen of death from Microsoft, I think. But if you open up from where you download, because I saw you downloaded it,
Okay, here we
you'll
go.
see it inside there.
Oh yeah, this looks
So
like...
I actually give them what I want the screenshot of with the 10 point, how many points it's worth for each screenshot.
Okay.
That's a clear rubric to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
That looks good.
I like it. I like it too. I'm just wondering. Oh, what is this?
Oh, it did something for you.
Oh, this was let's see, clarity of criteria description. Each rubric component is labeled with basic title, some criteria. This is too meta for me. It's a rubric about rubrics, and I can't right now. Let's go
That
college.
is outstanding. A rubric about rubrics.
Tracy, I'm not sure if we have a meeting at 2:00 or not.
I know. I think that it's going to be moved, and so Ronald, I would like to talk to you afterwards if you have time. But
yeah, I got a couple of minutes.
Okay.
All right, let's see what this comes up with. Here's a rubric for Virtual switch configuration. Accurate configuration of the virtual switch. A new external switch named WAN is created. The virtual switch is open. Okay, that's just basic. Invisible in the virtual machine. A screenshot with, okay. Excelling a new screenshot, and then the screenshot includes the name. So here is you did it. Here is you have a screenshot, and then here the screenshot includes the name of the VM and the host machine. I don't like it. I think it's too wordy. It looks like it's repeating. Well, I guess if you just take, if this was number one, right? This is out of 10 points, I don't know, 3. And then this is another 3. And then this would be the last 4 that you would need. I don't know. I can export this, which is nice thing about Conmigo. If I export it, it already puts it into a table for me. And so if I wanted to then copy and paste this back into Canvas, I can. Or
Looks like you just need to add the points to it. I didn't see any points on it.
oh yeah, that's a good point. But
That's more editing than it's worth, I think.
yeah. Yeah, that's
But
weird.
it was pretty
They
cool
don't
how
have
it
the
did it, though.
points.
Grab that information really quick.
Yeah, but you bring up a really good point about the points, and I'll stop, I promise. But because that was the whole thing Kelly was talking about earlier, like weighting them, and how much is each thing going to be worth? So
Right.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think we run into that because of, we use curriculum that's already pre-built. So, I was just looking at one of my assignments last night or yesterday, and I was like, wait a minute. There's more than one thing being graded here. And I know I've had conversations with students about that. You know,
mm,
I'm more concerned about the technical side, not as
right,
concerned about the writing side,
right.
you know.
Okay, so there are some things that you can do here, rubric related. Once again, I think we'll talk about rubrics later on, so we can get a little bit more deeper into the details. But that was just a kind of a little bit of a primer for you all. Those are the things for this week. And it is now 2 o'clock. So
Cool.
y'all gotta go. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna end this one. I'll stick around, Tracy, if you want to talk.